Hi guys, this is Lunapix. I just want to make it clear that this is not a step-by-step tutorial. This is just a breakdown to the effect seen on the burning paper effect video. I'm just gonna open my project and I'm gonna show you the different techniques that I use to get this effect. So let's start. The first comp is called the holder. Is just a 720 HD 25 frames per second comp. We put the logos and text inside it. As you can see, just two PNG images. The second one is the texture. Just create this a comp with the same settings and just put a JPEG image in it. The third one is where we apply the texture to the object, drag and drop, and then apply the alpha matte, track matte, as you can see in the video, and you get your textured logo or text. Create a new comp, call it Film Burn Effects, apply the same settings and click OK. Add a new solid and apply the CC Burn Film effect. Animate the burn for 3 seconds and then add the roughen edges effect to make it more interesting and get rid of the blur. After that, you will notice that at this point the animation will speed up. To get rid of this problem, you need to drag and drop it into a new animation and then apply the time remap. Add 2 points in the middle at the beginning and the end of the issue area, and then drag the second point towards the end of the animation. Next, create a new comp called a disintegration, apply the same settings, click OK. Drag the 2 comps that we created earlier, the holder textured and the film burn effects remapped. This one here, we're going to use the alpha track matte to make it disappear like this. As you can see, it is animated. And what we want to do also is create the tint, the burn tint. So we drag another copy and we're going to use this gradient color, and to make it less harsh we just drag the black point. We apply another copy of holder texture just to limit the effect to just the logo and text, and then we apply the color burn mode, and voila, it is simple and it gives you a great result. Next, we are going to create the file line that happens around these areas here when the burn starts to happen. So we create a new comp, call it file line comp, and drag 2 copies of the film burn effects remapped, and then what we are going to do is offset the bottom copy by just 1 frame, and then apply the alpha inverted matte to create this effect. As you can see, you can control the thickness by dragging the second copy, but this time we're gonna just keep it at 1 frame. Then we are gonna limit the effect to just the logo and text by dragging the holder texture and the file line comp and the Apply the alpha matte and add some fill effect with the simple red color and the turbulent noise with to add some variation in the color by just playing with the contrast and brightness, and also the blending mode. And finally we add a curve tool to add some contrast. You can play with it. Now we are going to create the comp that controls the particles and the smoke, so that when the burn effect happens, the particle will emit. To do that, we create a new comp, call it emitter comp, drag 2 copies of the film burn effects remapped, and then drag the bottom copy more than just one frame, and apply the alpha inverted matte, and then limit the effect to just the logo by dragging the holder textured and apply the alpha matte. As you can see, the particles are going to emit only from these areas here. For the background, we create new comp with the same settings as the previous ones, and just create a solid, add a gradient ramp effect, and add a warm color and a black color, and set it as radial ramp. Add a new layer, solid layer, call it plasma, add a fractal noise, dynamic, and apply these settings or whatever settings you want. And what you need to do also is you need to animate it. Just adding simple expression, and we add another effect called CC vector blur to create this amazing effect. And we want to get more contrast by just adding a curve tool and playing with the settings. What you need to do is set it as add, and then what I did, I created another color correction adjustment layer where I added more contrast. I just did an RGB curve. I didn't change the other curves. What I did also, I added glow effect. And finally a camera lens blur. You can do whatever you want. I just found it more interesting, you know. Another layer, just call it halo, and just a solid with a mask and bright orange color, and also set as add. And on top of all that, I added an adjustment layer to create the effect of heat distortion. I added the turbulent displace effect and animated the evolution with a simple expression, as you can see. And what I did also, you don't need to do this, I just found it interesting. I added the vibrance effect to get rid of some colors. Next, create a new comp and call it Paper Ash. Give it 100 pixels in both width and height, 25 frame per second, 4 frame long, and click OK. And what I did here, I just imported a PSD file that I prepared earlier, and I sequenced the layer, so every layer take just 1 frame, which are pieces from a larger JPEG of a burn paper that I found on Google. I just cut them out in Photoshop, and what I did here, I just added a curve adjustment to add some darkness. For the final comp, create a new comp with the same settings and drag your previously created comps. As you can see, make them all 3D except the first one, Paper Ash, because we're not going to see it. And for the background, we're gonna just push it backwards a little to get some depth, and then increase the size to fill the frame. What I did also for the background, I just added some color corrections with the curve adjustments and a tint effect. And for the disintegration layer, I noticed a white halo in these borders, so I used the simple choker and the tint effect. And then I added the Fireline comp with an add blending mod. As you can see, and to make it more interesting, I just added glow effect. As you can see, for the particles, I created 3 layers: sparks, smokes, and ash particles. They are all controlled by emitter element, and they all have a particular, so that the particles only emit from these black areas that you are seeing, which are animated. And for the ash particles layer, we have particular, and the emitter type is set as layer, which is the emitter element, and the particle type is set as textured polygon, and the texture is set as Paper Ash, and the time sampling is set as random still frame, so that every particle is a random frame from this comp. And now all the layers are visible, the particle layers, except the Paper Ash and the emitter element, which don't need to be. These two are invisible, but the emitter element is set as 3D, which is very important. For the sparks, we added some glow and some color correction with a simple curve adjustment. And if you want to download the project file, it is for free and it is in the description. You can do whatever you want with it. Thank you for watching.